Okay, so I said I'd make a video whenever Skinwalker was released, which, the new top 500 weapon. This is the replacement for Elder Root. Again, we'll get into the pre-buying purchase, exactly what I expect as far as trading strategy around the item, and also trading is down right now, so I have nothing better to do because I can't server hop. So here we are. But overall, this weapon's amazing. I really like it. I'm probably gonna buy one if it's reasonable. Now, if people get really stupid with prices, like Anchor, I'm probably just going to wait. But keep in mind with every single ranked item, there's a massive demand premium at the start. There's always a massive demand dip after everyone gets the ones they wanted initially. So think about it this way, it's probably going to start off 50 or 100 million higher than it's worth. It's going to dip under where it's worth for a while. You want to buy in there. And then it's going to go back up and settle at the price that you want. Champ has been all over the place. Champ got really expensive, dipped for a bit, uh, went up to insanely high prices, dipped again, 2.0 released, and then went up to like a billion or 800 mil or whatever almost instantly, and it steadily rose since. That's kind of the exception. Dracos was pre-bought really high, it dipped back down, and it just kind of sat there. Nothing interesting really happened to Dracos in my opinion. People bought it at 350, it dipped as low as like 280, I think, maybe 250, and then it recovered back up to like 300, 350. So, not very interesting. Hikaru is stinky, and Anchor is Anchor was kind of weird. So it was pre-bought at 350. It dipped down to 250 lowest. It went up to where people thought it was going to be worth 500 somehow. It got really overhyped. Now it's a nice weapon. It's not worth 500 mil. I'm saying it got overhyped as an investment item. It should never get overhyped as an investment item. Ranked items will slowly increase in value over time, but it isn't going to be like Champ Scythe where it just massively inflates 200 million a week or something. It's not going to happen. So Anchor then settled back at 350. Anchor was probably the only weapon where people pre-bought it at roughly the price it settled at, which was lucky. Now, a lot of people bought into Anchor. I know there were a bunch of people that bought like 3 or 5 anchors thinking they were going to go up a ton, and then they really didn't. Now, I'm aware you can sell anchors higher than 350, but I'm just saying it's roughly 350 just for ease, like for, rough off the cuff part of the video. I'm not going through accurate pricing for ranked items. Most people don't care they're watching this. But as far as the like history of pricing goes, but I'm just saying I've watched pretty much every single ranked item and roughly what's happened to it. Off of Skinwalker, I would guess it's going to be 200 to 250. It just seems reasonable. If it goes down to 150, it's too close to Hikaru to be fair. If it goes up past 350, obviously it's going to be way too competitive with Dracos and Anchor. I don't believe this competes with Anchor. I think it's a very nice scythe, but it's not comically oversized like Anchor and Champ, so I don't believe it's going to be that level of overpay. Dracos was more of a kind of a pretty elegant sword, and it just did oddly well because it was the season 2 item. Skinwalker doesn't have the advantage of being the season 2 item, it's the season 5 item. So I think it's nice, but it's kind of like a fancier tri-heat. So I'm gonna love it, but I think more of the PvPers or the traders that like the edgy items are going to enjoy this. This doesn't have the grand ranked item feel that like Champ and Dracos did. That's more what gets the traders to pay crazy amounts. Anchor was the big black and white item that has the neutral color palette. So if you wanted the grand ranked item but didn't like blue or gold, you picked Anchor. That's why Anchor went up so much. Dracos was the big gold item. So if you liked black and gold, you picked that one. Champ is obviously the blue item. So this is going to be a little bit weird because it's not quite color neutral. You've got the black and red, which again I love, but that isn't for everyone. And the bone color won't go with a lot of outfits, so it's not color neutral. I don't think it's going to go to 300, 350 because it doesn't make sense to. Now, people might pre-buy it at 300 or 350. It does have the ranked item like competitive look, but traders want more of the grand items. So I don't think it's going to go that high. I think 200 to 250 is a fair price for it. I think 300 is the absolute top end, and that's assuming it goes really well with poses. It has really good effects, like it has, maybe like blood dripping or some sort of smoke effects, where it's subtle, nice effects that add to it. If it has really ugly effects, now Hikaru had interesting effects. I like them, but if it has weird like sigils or some giant effect on it that looks stupid, no one's going to like it, and it's probably going to be worth 50 mil less. So if it's ugly and they mess up the effects, so we don't want any sort of, let me see if I can find an item with a good example. So like this level of effect, that would be good if it was like a black smoke with red. That would work on Skinwalker. Let me see what else there is as far as effects go. Let's just show Aegis. Like, if it's very overdone like this, Skinwalker might be lower. So, we'll see. I think it was done tastefully on Aegis, but I don't think it would do that well on Skinwalker to have that kind of level of effect. And they were the season 1 items, so they kind of set the standard for what people were looking for. Then we'll show Champ just so, like, Champ is kind of overdone also, but it's a very big item and it has that kind of grand feel, so it works. Now, they did nerf Champ because it doesn't have the trail like it used to. So that kind of sucks, and to me, it took away from the item's quality. But some people would argue that it made it less bright, so it was more usable. That's more of a personal preference thing. But it really depends on the effects. The only effects I'd want to see are something on the eyes, maybe some sort of like red smoke or the eyes move around, or some sort of smoke or blood dripping effects on the blade. If it's overdone, it's going to look really bad. If it's tastefully done, which is kind of rare now, then I'm thinking 200, 250, 300 at highest. If they're kind of cheap effects where it's just, oh, it has a blood effect over the whole weapon, or oh, there's just a giant smoke effect, or if it's like Aegis where, well, it's like the little lines here on Champ, that's going to lower the value of Skinwalker. It needs to have the kind of more of a horror look to Skinwalker for it to do well, in my opinion. So, as soon as we see it rendered in game and someone actually using it, then we judge prices. So, I might have like a panicked update video as soon as Skinwalker drops. Hey, the skin's effects look really bad, so I'd pre-buy at 180. If the skin's effects are very tastefully done, I would say 300 at highest is your pre-buy. I don't recommend doing that, but that's kind of the range we're looking at. 180 to 300 is the wider range, 200 to 250 as the real prediction. But we'll have to see. Again, if there's any major changes to the economy as far as inflation or deflation, that will of course affect things. So if there's more really good packs like Oblivion until Skinwalker is released, then this will be higher. But Oblivion took a ton of gems out of the economy and deflated a bunch of items around it because people want amethyst so badly. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of factors that go into what this is worth, and a lot of it's more the timing than the quality of the item. So that's pretty much it. If you want to put your comment of like your own guess, I'd be interested to see what other traders think, but I think 200 or 250 is relatively fair. If you have a significantly higher or lower guess, I'd love to hear it. And, it helps people make more informed trading decisions. Now, we have a lot of time, but it's good to start thinking about your offer before you have to do it. So, yeah, that's it for today. Have a good one.